Welcome back. We are Into the Black. My guest today is someone who has significantly impacted the Delaware real estate market through his innovative business, USA House Solutions. He founded the company in 2005 with a mission to provide fast, fair, and hassle-free home selling solutions for homeowners. I also used to work for him like back in the day. How old was I? Like 20? 21? I don't even remember.
Just a baby.
I know. My God. Beyond his professional accomplishments, he is deeply committed to his community, serving on the board of the YMCA in Wilmington. Is that correct? Yes.
Yes, I am.
And supporting various local charities. His expertise as a real estate coach, trainer, and public speaker has made him a respected figure in the industry. And he's also a huge Eagles fan. Let's go Eagles. Let's welcome Bob Warburton into the Black.
Hello, Heather. Thank you for having me.
How are you, man?
It's so good to see you. I don't get to see you so much.
I know. It's been so freaking long.
And yes, you were my very first employee, and you were just a babe. You were
Wait. That was your first employee? I didn't know that. I thought you were just like, let's put an ad on Craigslist, and you've had like a bazillion.
You didn't know that till now?
No.
Yeah. Did you notice we had no processes? We had nothing.
Nope.
I was a sole proprietor, just working by myself. I never had, and then I moved into that little office.
Yes, in Trolley Square, Delaware Ave, right?
Yep. Which now has been bought and converted into high-end apartments.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
That was nice. And then you live like literally directly.
Yeah.
Right
Well, at the time, the condo was right next door. And we were doing a lot of short sales then, so we needed people to come in to sign document packets. So that's where I was like, I need an office. I can't do this out of my house. I need like a table and I need help desperately. So then, so we interviewed, and you turned me down at first. Do you remember?
I don't remember that. Wait, what? Wait, I think I do, just a little bit.
And I'll tell you why you turned me down. You were going to go back to babysitting.
I was. That's right. I was going to be a nanny for like 2 little kids.
And cover your ears. I was so impressed with Heather. I was like, I want this girl to work with me. And you said, oh, I don't, and I didn't give up. I'm like, I called you. I go, what are you doing?
That's right.
You want to be a nanny, or do you want to get into this?
Yes, that's right.
So.
And I'm so thankful that you freaking did that shit. It's like, who knows where I would be at this point if I decided to be that nanny?
Well, as successful as you are, you'd like own franchises of nannies.
Across
the country. Nannies are us. That's what you would probably have.
Holy shit. That is such a great story. And let me tell you, working in short sales though is a tough gig, my guy. Thank God you're not really doing that much right now.
We do a little bit, but we outsource them. There's companies that basically sprung up the same time we did, and that's all they do. And I'm like, thank God. So no, it was just good. And that was back when you had to fax the packets.
Yes.
And these packets were 60 pages long. You needed everything from the seller. And just to let anybody know who's watching, a short sale is when you're trying to sell your house and you owe more than what the current value is. So we had to present these packages to the seller's bank to show them why we needed like repair estimates, a BPO, which is a realtor's opinion of the current value, and then just reams and reams of documents from the seller, tax return, 2 years tax returns, bank statements, all sorts of stuff. And if there was 2 people, it was double. So we would be faxing 60, 70 page documents through my little HP.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Fax machine. This is, kids, a fax machine is something we used to have back in the 2000s. And then it would just like get through page 30 and then it would just stop. And we'd have to do it all over again. So thank God they are finally accepting PDF.
Oh,
emails.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank God. Because I remember that because we would wait for like Bank of America and like all this stuff to call back and like tell us they received it, and then like maybe one of the pages was missing, and it was just a whole cluster, dude.
And then every day the banks came up with new requirements. Yes. Like, oh no, you can't do this. Now you got to do this. You know, we need an appraisal, or you got to wait 90 days. It just became very difficult.
Yeah.
So I moved out of short sales and we're just into fixing and flipping properties.
Nice.
I also built up our buy and hold of rental properties. We have a lot of single family properties, townhouses, ranches. I have a bunch of multifamily properties. Nice. I have a couple sober living properties.
Oh, very good.
Great. Yeah.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to have to talk a little bit about that then.
Yeah,
that's
so
pretty cool.
It's a great service. The company's called Oxford House that we work with. We provide the house. They bring everybody in, and we've worked with them since, I think, 2015 15.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so cool. And that's such a great, like for somebody who has dealt with, substance abuse issues and from a family who have alcoholics, I really appreciate that you are actually able to have some sober living. And that's in Pennsylvania, right? Or Oxford,
No,
in Delaware?
they're both in Delaware.
Oh,
Both of
wow.
our locations are in Delaware. One in Wilmington, one in Dover.
Oh, very
And
cool.
they're all, I think Oxford House is a national company though.
Oh, okay. When you said Oxford, I'm thinking like,
Oh yeah. No, I'm not sure what Oxford means,
no,
but
okay.
short sales are not our main focus.
Mm-hmm.
Our probably number one lead source is probate inherited leads, where when unfortunately somebody passes away,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times they own it outright. We don't need to do short sales. We don't need all that paperwork, and it's a
Right.
lot easier process.
Oh, well, that's good. I can tell you short sales is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I'd have to go to that courthouse. It was like so sad. I was like, oh my gosh. Every morning. And like right when they opened.
Yeah, good
There.
stuff.
I know. So, if there's one piece of advice that you can give to somebody who is about to go through like probate because somebody passed away, what would you maybe like something that would help them before somebody passes? Like what?
Yeah, this is exactly what I was going to say. If you've already, unfortunately, if your loved one has passed away,
It's hard to get
it's hard. So what you need to do now is every single person out there, I'm looking right at you out there, please get a will. It is
mental note, get a will.
It is
Husband, get a will.
so important. Because it is such a hassle to deal with it after the fact if you don't have to have a will. If you have a will, first of all, it's a peace of mind. You know that your directives and what your wishes are going to live on beyond you. And if you don't like that one son who's a screw up and you want to cut him out, good, you could do that. But if you want to distribute different things and you don't want some random cousin coming in and trying to make a claim, it just makes it so much easier. And then you have a direction. If you want to sell the real estate, you can do that. So get a will, and when your heirs do go to sell the house, it'll make them so much easier for them to deal with the probate department and all more than just your house, all your assets.
Yeah.
It just makes it so much. There won't be fighting. I mean, I see all sorts of fighting. You could just divvy everything up now, and I think personally it would make me feel a lot better knowing that this is all taken care of now.
Right. Yeah. So do you have, for our Delaware peeps here, because I know everybody's listening around the world, we've had somebody listening in Dublin, which is pretty cool. For our Delaware people, who would you, what's a good referral for a law firm? Because I know you've worked with a bunch, but for probate, who would you refer?
You know what? I don't have my notes in front of me, and I don't have the,
okay.
I'd have to look that up.
Okay. Well, here, bing. That's his answer. He'll give it to me later. I'll edit it in. We do refer some people, but overall, the majority of the people have already filed probate. So a lot of times, if it's a small estate, they can do the process themselves. Okay.
And by a small estate, meaning I ask, do you have a lot of other assets? And usually it's like, no, this was mom's house. That's really all
That's it. Yeah.
She had a bank account, and we're using that to pay for the funeral. So you can do this yourself, and that's one of the things we do is help people through the probate process. That's our specialty in helping them perform all the tasks you have to do as a personal representative of the estate. So you don't necessarily have to have. If you get into trouble and there's some issues, we can refer.
What about like will writing? Because I know there's some places like contracts.com or something like that. Like, what do you think is best for wills? LegalZoom, never.
Yeah, they're all national. You want it specific to Delaware, and you spend a little money. It's not going to be too much.
Okay.
But do a little research and get some referrals. But I would definitely get it done professionally. Again, you want it done correctly, and you don't want it written on a napkin or anything like that.
Right. So, okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to talk to you sidebar on who I need to go to for a will, because I know I got to do that shit.
Absolutely. So. If you got different things going on, so especially for you.
Yes, seriously. So I've seen that you love posting pictures of the weird shit you find in investment properties like that.
Yes.
Outlet that was behind a toilet. So what is the weirdest thing that you've ever found ever in an investment property or flip?
I gotta come clean. I love that picture, but that is fake. It was glued on the back of the toilet.
It's still funny though.
Yes.
It's still representative of crazy shit that you do find in investment properties.
I mean, stripper poles numerous times.
Hey.
outlets down on the baseboard at the bottom. Like, how would you, two switches down on the floor? You'd have to literally get on the ground. All sorts of crazy things we found, like just scary not animals, but actually, I did find an animal in the property. It was a rental property, a dog. They left, and it was terrible.
Oh,
Yeah,
no. That's
yeah,
the
that was a
worst.
long time ago. We just recently had somebody go, "Oh yeah, by the way, let the cat out." And I'm like, "What do you mean let the cat out?" First of all, our lease says no animals, which
Right.
seems to get broken all the time.
Oh, well.
And we saw like one of those climbing things and a little cage and food. And I'm like, where's this? It's a small little 1 bedroom apartment. And I'm looking everywhere. But, those cats will, unlike dogs who will come to you, cats will
Right,
get
cots
away.
there. Yeah.
So we never did. I had my clean out crew and they're like, yeah, we found them. And so I went out and bought I said, I can't find this cat, but I went to the store and bought some cat food and
Oh,
got a bowl, got some water, and then eventually one of my workers took the cat home.
oh, that's
But I
nice
couldn't believe, like, how do
that they
you,
left their cat like
yeah,
that.
I mean, it's disgusting.
Do you have any pets? I forget if you have any
Yes, we have
pets.
a dog now. We inherited
Oh, yeah.
called Charlie's a pug, and he's amazing.
Oh.
We never and he's diabetic, so he needs around. He is just a little baby. My girlfriend Chris is the major caregiver, but I help. We do everything. But he just eats like crazy. He eats 10 times. He wants to eat all the time. He just doesn't. But yeah, I mean, my mom always had dogs. We were growing up, but
Mm.
I haven't had one. But yeah, he's fun. He's great.
Oh, that's cool. And how is your girlfriend doing?
Chris is doing great.
How long you been together? Like literally, like when I started, they were still together. So I don't know how long y'all been
Oh
together for
wow.
now. A long time, yes. How old am I now? Like 21 years ago, I think. That's pretty awesome. And like to be honest with you, you guys would technically be like, well, Delaware doesn't have common law, right? Isn't that a thing? Just asking.
Don't know anything about that.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna stir up some shit because I like to. What's your favorite Delaware restaurant? I ask all my Delaware peoples this because, and I think I already know this question, but you can, yeah.
I'm a big Wilmington guy. I live in the city of Wilmington, so I
Yes.
support a lot of Wilmington locations. And I'm going to throw a shout out to my friend, Anthony Bamba, who owns Dorcia Restaurant, which is right across from the Wilmington Hospital.
Yes.
And it is just a great place. He was a bartender for 100 years at the Washington Street Ale House, which my other friend used to own before he passed away.
Mm.
And he went out, bought this restaurant. His brother Mike is the head chef, who was also the head chef at the Ale House for years. And it's very reasonable, but it's very imaginative. The prices aren't ridiculous,
Mm.
and it's just a real nice, warm environment. They're all big sports fans, so am I. So they got the games on and everybody's, shooting the bull about the games and Eagles and Phillies and everything. But it's got a really good dining room and it's a great restaurant. So I recommend that restaurant right now. It's one of my
And
favorites.
what's your favorite dish there right now? Because I know
Um
they have specials all the time.
they have I mean we just got chicken parm the other night.
Mm.
And both the Bombers are from Italian descent, so they like to do a lot of different Italians, but a lot
Nice.
of different, a lot of steak dishes.
Mm.
They have a tuna uh, dish that's like sashimi tuna that's sliced up, and they've got a
Oh.
wasabi sauce and some special, and that's a great go-to. But all sorts of stuff. It's Americana and different.
So we can find you there at Dorcia on Sundays watching the Eagles games, I assume.
Actually, no, they're my seatmates up at the
Oh,
the
that's
link.
right. Yeah, that's
Yes.
right. Okay.
Yes.
Well,
So no, I'm not usually there.
okay. So, bringing my next question: if you could play for the Philadelphia Eagles, what position would you play, and why?
Oh boy, I am the opposite of a football player.
But I mean, if
Slow
you
and
had to, in
old.
an alternate universe where instead of you
Um,
being the ultimate fan, you are the ultimate player.
I would love to be, and I always say it's the best position in football is backup quarterback
That's
because
right.
you make ridiculous money and you can play for. I mean, you could play for. Well, you're not even playing. You're on the sidelines. You're wearing a baseball hat. You got the clipboard,
Mm-hmm.
and those guys become coaches a lot too. That would be, my favorite position. But if I really on the field, I always like kind of defense. I always love defense. Maybe a middle linebacker who's kind of like the quarterback of the defense. Um, I'm not gigantic. I'm not on the offensive line, but probably
Right.
that. Yeah.
Okay. You and I are very like, I love Eagles. We've been Eagles
Yeah,
fans.
go
I think that
Birds.
is, yes, go Birds. Yes. So back to the investment properties. Have you ever bought a house or flipped a house and you were like, it's haunted? Have you ever gotten a haunted house? And if you think that it was, like, what happened?
I don't think so. I'll
No?
be honest. That wouldn't even bother me.
Really?
No,
I mean, but yeah, but like I
I
would
don't.
still just because it doesn't bother you doesn't mean it's like not happen, like shit flying across the room while you're walking out. Be like, oh well, that's interesting, and just like keep walking. Like anything
No,
random like that ever
not
happen?
not that I could think
No,
of, and it wouldn't even phase me. I mean, I would be worried about on the back end maybe. It's funny because I've asked that. That's not something that has to be disclosed.
that's true.
And it wouldn't even bother me if someone was murdered. That stuff
No.
doesn't matter. Nah, I mean, I know you might have to disclose that,
If
but
somebody asks, yeah, like, somebody murdered in this house, you'll have to be like,
if I could get a good deal,
when?
that's fine.
That's
Oh, if it
right.
was murdered, knock 50 grand off. I'm
Right.
I'm right there. Yeah,
My God. Well, that's surprising to me because Delaware has so many old houses and
it
historical
does.
houses.
Yeah.
So, just that's interesting
I
to me
found
that
all
there's
sorts
not.
of old stuff. I found letters on a house. It was built in 1920, so it's a little over 100 years old. Letters back to Poland, and then envelopes coming back.
No way.
All sorts of like just old correspondence. We found all sorts of newspaper clippings that were up in an attic, and they were all starting to deteriorate. But like um, in World War One, actually, so it was actually built before the house. So they had these and brought them to the
Oh,
house. It's
wow.
like here are an article and pictures of these young men. They're shipping off
Oh,
to
wow.
France in World War One, and it's like wow, just all sorts of like newspapers we find all the time of like historical events that people keep and they never do anything, and they're like
Yeah.
like from 9/11, from World War II, all sorts of
Hmm.
historical, presidential elections and stuff like that that people keep. And then when they move, they're like, forget it. But yeah, we found all sorts of cool. I love finding old historical stuff.
Do you keep any of it? Like, if you're like, ooh, this is like, oh my God,
I
like I
did.
found this really rare coin that,
I haven't found anything of any real value.
no.
I do keep a lot of that historical stuff. I found like a mass card from like a local church that we gave back. Um, uh Yearbooks from different
Oh, wow.
schools from way back, all sorts of fun stuff. I usually like to just document when taking pictures. I mean, we used to get all sorts of uh like ladders, extension cords, weed eaters, and I started getting so many of those things that I'm like, that's it. I'm
Yeah.
just all sorts of crazy stuff, drills and
Do you ever
stuff
like
like that.
resell this shit you find?
Usually it's what, like I would say that to my partner, and he's like, yeah, if you want to, but that like kind of gets you away from your focus.
Yes.
And it's so important to stay focused on your business. Once you deviate, it's going to take 10 times more effort to do that. And to be honest, if I sell, an old, vacuum cleaner, you know,
For like
so
20 bucks, it's not
yeah, but
really.
meanwhile, I'm, and then I got to stop and learn to do that.
Yeah.
So we have put some stuff up, actually Chris, my girl, might do that. But a lot of times we'll just give it as an incentive to our clean out guys. Like, hey, if you find anything, like I'll go, if I see anything
First,
super,
yeah.
super valuable. But we haven't had that much luck. I usually say you can take it, and I
Hmm.
like at the end of the day in the corner they've got like rakes and shovels and
Right.
all that. I'm
Yeah.
like, great, take it,
Take it. Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. We also, one of the things we always tell the homeowners is you can sell the house completely as
As
is,
is. Yep.
and we'll donate, because I always tell them we own those sober living houses. We'll donate the furniture because they're always looking for good furniture, and
That's
they
really
like
awesome.
that. So we don't want to. I try to be a good steward of the earth. We don't like to throw away good things. We try to recycle or reuse or donate it to charities,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But anything else, we'll just let our cleanup guys keep now.
Right. That's cool. Anything, you ever find anything that you donated to a museum before?
Nothing of
No.
that super historical. I mean, there's the Delaware, it's on Market Street. There's I forget what it's called. There's a museum
I
of
know exactly
history.
what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the University of Delaware has some
Hmm.
things. So nothing really that great.
No.
But usually I just started documenting with pictures. So
Hmm.
it's like, hey, it's just as good as keeping
Right. Yeah. Well, your time is going to come. I know you're going to get like a house and you're going to find some crazy ass thing in the house where it's like worth like 10, 20, 30 grand. And you're
That'd be
like a
cool.
baseball card or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking for that Honus Wagner card.
Yeah.
And there's people like, I think my dad like buried stuff in the wall up there. If you ever find anything,
Yeah.
we have nothing yet.
No. Okay. Well, you never know.
So what is one thing you would like to see change about the short sale and foreclosure industry? Any like systems and processes that you feel as though need to be like streamlined? Is there any like, stupid red tape that is just like completely unnecessary? Like just, because it is a big industry. And it's supposedly supposed to help people, but then sometimes it doesn't. So like, is there anything that you would change?
Not really, and
No?
that's kind of because of such red tape. We've kind of moved away from that. We're not doing those as much anymore.
Anything you would change in the probate?
No, I think it's a pretty streamlined process. I think the people down there are very good to help you open up an estate. Sometimes they give legal advice because the probate department's in your county courthouse. Each county in America has a probate department, and probate is just really the legal action of fulfilling a will. And if there isn't a will, then you're just selling off the assets and distributing them. So they'll help you get that all set up, and we help that. But sometimes down there, they'll overstep and give legal advice, which you're not qualified for.
Right.
So we always stress, down there, they said, all I got to do is this. And we say, please, they'll help you set up the estate. But as far as what needs to be done to sell the house, they can't give that legal advice. So we wish they would stop doing that. But other than that, they do a great job.
Stop doing. So you always suggest somebody speak with an attorney or somebody in your position that knows what the hell is going on.
Well, I mean, it depends on your comfort level. I'd be glad to give a consultation, a complimentary consultation to help you. We also do other services to help people involved in probate that might not even be looking to sell yet, helping them with non-legal activities such as securing the property, changing locks, cutting the grass in the winter, cleaning out gutters and shoveling snow, and winterizing the property is a big deal because a lot of times the properties are vacant, the heirs are out of state, so we can help them with these services. If you're out in Chicago and the house is here and you're not here, hey, listen, we'll take care of the house, get it winterized, change the locks, make sure there's no broken windows, turn off the water, help you. We can set up clean out services if you want to do that yourself, or set up an auction.
Wow.
If there's minor repairs, we can get our contractors. So we think of it as like a concierge service to help them, get them connected to the right people. We don't charge for that service. We're not doing the actual work.
Right.
But we're putting people together. Like, okay, you need this. Okay, you need to call Joe. Or this, we got this company, and get them all set up for that. And then when they're ready to sell, we're ready to buy cash as is. Fast at a fair price.
Well, there you go. I mean, mic drop. We should just end the podcast here because mic drop on that. So you've worked with Habitat for Humanity for a while too.
Yes.
How long you been doing that now? Very long time.
We haven't done it in a while, but we did back. I'm also a part of a real estate investment association called Del Ria, where investors get together and we educate them and train them, and we do deals together. And I set that up with Habitat Humanity. This is several years ago. Where we did several. We did a couple different work days. So we were working on new construction, and it's a great organization. They're taking either rehabilitating existing houses, or a lot of times it's easier for them to just level it, block, start over. It's just so much easier to build new construction than it is. But we'd be on the job and they'd be, we'd be up on the roof and doing amazing stuff. And it was very fulfilling. One day it was 9 degrees out. I remember the first day we went, but
9?
Yeah, we were freezing. But believe it or not, once you start getting working outside, like, by midday, most of the people had their jackets.
Yeah, it's like it's too hot. Yeah. Thank God it's 9 degrees.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're watching a football game in Green Bay and they're like, they just might have a short sleeve shirt or something on, but the fans are freezing. Once you start working, So yeah, it's a great organization, and the people that get the houses, they have to contribute and donate their time on future houses too. So
Oh,
they're
wow.
yeah,
So paying
they're,
it forward,
yeah,
essentially.
yeah, they're involved, and then actually they have to do it beforehand.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they have to put in time helping on different projects and get involved, and then before they get their property. So
Gotcha.
it's great.
Well, that is cool. So you obviously have flipped a ton of homes. What type's your favorite type to flip? Ranch, cottage, Victoria? Like what's your favorite style of home? Because mine's
Um,
Victorian. I love a good, nice Victorian home. Very, historically looking.
yeah, it's funny because like when I first got involved, it was weird. We would spend so much time. We're like, oh, with the details and the
Mm.
cosmetics, and after a while, it's all about systems and everything is automatic. We're doing the same thing over. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. And you see these shows like on, A&E and HGTV where they're going every time they're going into the store and picking out stuff. If you do that, you're going to be out of business. So we're just everything's automatics, the same things. It might seem boring. So after a while, it's just whatever it is, we're going to do the same things,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine because we're not in I'm not in business to have a to be exciting and all that. After a while, it's a
Yeah.
job. So the different types of houses, the houses without major structural
That's the
damage
type of house.
where a gigantic crack,
Yeah.
going through the foundation, or but we've worked on all sorts of fire damage
Oh,
houses.
wow.
But I'd say a house like yours, a colonial,
Okay.
they're great because 4 bedrooms, those are great because usually we can that aren't too old, maybe 50, 60 years old or less, because they got good bones and we can open up some rooms, and they're in high demand.
Mm.
Inside a neighborhood, we have had some distress. We're on houses that are on major roads. They're going to take longer to sell, and the price will be less because it's just supply and demand. Fewer people are interested in living on a busy road,
Mm-hmm.
especially if they have kids. They're weary of kids wandering out into the front.
Right.
So usually it's someone who might have a small business where they can put trucks and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like landscapers or contractors. But so being on busy roads is a little bit, but we budgeted it. We flipped the house that backed up to 95 once, and we didn't think, and it was in a great neighborhood. It was big colonials. I mean, the houses were going for at that time, I think in like the $500,000 range.
Wow.
But because ours literally backed up to 95, we figured we're gonna over renovate this. We're gonna make it so nice they're not gonna care. And that was the worst thing we could have done. It would have been better to under renovate it, make it nice, but people could get into the neighborhood cheaper because they're gonna have that backyard. And it took us several months because of the backyard. You just saw the cars whizzing by,
Right.
and you could hear it.
You didn't put like a fence up, like a 30-foot fence.
Yeah, I mean, you really couldn't because it
No.
like went down and then the highway went back up. I mean, it was
Right.
back far, but and then in the winter when all the leaves fell off, it was super, you could see all
man,
that.
everything. Damn.
Yeah, so you just budget, so there's pros and cons,
Right. Yeah. So, I see you've been crushing it on social media.
Yeah, I love
You're
it.
doing lots of speaking around Delaware. But what do you find like the hardest thing? Because I know you do. Is it you? And then do you have a VA that helps? I don't remember.
Yes, well, I do all our local, just using my iPhone, local
Mhm.
recording raw videos. And I like to do with our houses in the different stages, and for like a particular house, we'll take a raw video of the day we buy it, and then it's like, here's what it looks like now, and here's what we're thinking about doing. So you see the ugly beginning, what stage it's in right now, and then so that usually we can get about 5 or 6 videos. So that's like a week worth
Mm-hmm.
of videos there. Then the next stage we'll be doing the demo, and we're coming in showing the demo
Getting more
process.
video of that.
There's another week's worth. Then like a third one where we're in the middle of the rehab and we're showing, okay, here's what we're doing, here's what we got to finish, and then a final set of videos for the finished product.
Mm-hmm.
And so that'll give us like over just
Dude,
one property.
so
over
many.
A month. Yeah. So we
So
try
many
to
videos.
split it up, and then in between there, I do a lot of speaking around the area, and we'll just take that and cut it up into little clips. We're putting it out on TikTok, Instagram, Instagram stories, Facebook's just sharing it to Facebook stories and Instagram stories, YouTube shorts, and what else we did? Oh, we just got into doing, I'm a big fan of Gary Vee, and he's like, don't sleep on LinkedIn. So we started on LinkedIn.
Yes, I see you.
And I see you on there, and I saw you already on there.
I love LinkedIn so much right now. It's like, it's so great, especially for like the professional part of it, and then also the audio space.
And there's so few people on there compared to the attention is a lot easier to get action. So I was late on Instagram. I was really late on TikTok, and so I figured, all right, let's get in on that. And that, I guarantee, if something else comes out, I'm going to be the first person. You were like on everything. I remember there was like Clubhouse, like you were like during COVID that popped up.
Oh yeah.
Is that gone?
Oh, I mean, it's still there, and there's actually a real estate room that runs every morning at like 8 a.m. EST, and there are like 100 people in there. So, I mean, like, it's still going, but like on the real estate side, everything else has just kind of fallen off, and like even the mechanics of it have changed, and it's really sad because I had 22,000 followers over there at one point, and then they took away followers. And then it was just friends. And then I just lost like everybody. And I was like, what the hell?
The friends are just for Facebook. I mean, everybody else is all about followers.
Right.
What are some of the other, like Threads?
I'm on Threads as well. Yeah, but then that had backed off because of, it was just Instagram followers being migrated over. And now there's an app called No Space, which is kind of like a dupe off of MySpace, but it's has like a wait list of like 500,000 people right now. It's not even open yet.
I'll sign up for that then.
Yeah, I signed up for it. I'm on the wait list right now.
And everything now, different philosophies, but I always just get my name, and I'm trying to brand my name. So I'm at Bob Warburton. It bugged me years ago. I remember my buddy Rick had, he was like, and he was always technically way more advanced than I was. And he's like, hey, there's this new thing called Google. I'm like, what? And it's like, oh yeah, this is where. No, I'm cool with searching on Alta Vista, I think it was.
Yes.
He's like, no, Google so much
name dropping the Alta Vista.
And by the way, they've got their own email called Gmail. I'm like, hey, I'm on Hotmail. That's perfect. So he's like, yeah, you should get that. So, and then like by the time I realized that, I went there and it was Bob Warburton. I had to get a 2 and it like.
I know.
My OCD bugs me. So
and
now,
your Twitter account is also not
Robert.
Bob, yes.
And there's some guy in Australia that has it who's never posted. So I get, so anything comes out now, I got it.
Grab
Instagram, TikTok, whatever comes out. YouTube.
Do you have Clubhouse?
Nah,
no. Well, I mean, go grab that at Bob Warburton in Clubhouse.
Any big
Threads,
emails that comes
Pinterest.
Out. Yeah.
I think you did have Pinterest for a little bit, right?
Yeah, I still have that. I you know what I use not much for real estate, but I do like anytime I see a recipe.
Nice.
So I throw it in there and then I'm show it to Chris, or if we're at the supermarket, just pull up the. But that's pretty much what I'm using.
And I can't stop looking at your logo.
Yeah.
I made his first logo.
Yes.
Oh, it was like in the Microsoft Paint app.
I still have it. I know. Well, I'm kind of rebranding a little bit. That my legal entity is USA House Solutions for our fixing and wholesaling business. But this is our other division called USA House Buyers, because that's really a little bit more to the point, and we're rebranding through that.
Yes.
Building a new website. We're doing PPC through that, and we have a special website for that.
Oh, very good.
So it's more specific to actually house buying, and then the USA House Solutions is going to be more about helping people going through probate, through foreclosure, different things like that. So we're going to kind of separate it, give it a little bit of difference to it. So
very good. Yeah. And I will say Bob is the one who really helped me back in the day when I was working for you, like really helped me understand funnels and squeeze pages and landing pages, because like that really was like all about getting the people to give your information to get into, what was that system? What was that CRM that you used at the beginning?
It was RealFlow.
Yes, it was RealFlow. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I learned how to do like.
That was some big web 2.0 back then.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
And then you had your blog.
Oh yeah.
Forever ago.
I've abandoned that. I still have the URL. I have a million URLs.
You have so many URLs.
I've started shedding them all. I can't get rid of them.
Are you selling them?
I would put some up, but they didn't have much value.
None of them really get sold.
And again, that's another I did a reel about shiny object syndrome, and I had like a disco ball. I was like, "Ooh, shiny object syndrome is deviates you from your core values and your focus." So that's another thing. Am I going to do that and learn that, or no? Just so I would release some of them that I haven't. I mean, I've had them for like 10 years, and I'm like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars a year through GoDaddy. So the one, I'll just like every year I'll just say, okay, I'm releasing these 10. And I still have probably 40 or 50 anyway,
Yeah, I feel like I have to do that too because I have a lot of domains and they're not being utilized. And I'm just like, I don't want to
waste
get rid
of money.
Of them. I know.
I mean, if you look at your credit card bill, it's
like,
oh my God, I'm paying
why am I
this,
paying this much on domains?
For this, that, and the other things. So I'm trying to get a little bit leaner.
That's so funny. So McNabb or Hertz? McNabb or Hertz?
Who's better? Who would I rather
have?
have?
I mean, it's however you want to answer that question.
I mean,
McNabb,
you can look at it. I mean, McNabb had a great career. He didn't get us to the promised land.
I know.
He's probably overall the greatest quarterback the Eagles have ever had. I mean, I didn't see Sonny Jurgensen and the guys back in 1916, 48, 49, but since the 70s, you Jaworski and McNabb and Randall Cunningham. I mean, we've had a lot of Vic, Wentz, Hurts.
Oh, man.
I mean, if you would have talked to me in December of 2022, I probably would have said Hurts. I mean, he's still got a lot of upside. He had an amazing year. Took a little bit of a step back. We've got some new coaches, so hopefully, I mean, I think he's great. I like the guy personally. I think he comes. His dad's a coach. I think that's always the best. So I really like him. I'm hoping he can surpass, but right now, I'm very happy he's our quarterback.
When are you going to invite me to an Eagles game with you, Bob?
Ooh, all right, it's out there.
When am I getting invited, Bob?
Let me see what I can do.
I've known you forever and a day.
I only own one ticket. My other friends have their other. So if I could see a game that they're not going, that would be good.
That would be really cool, and I would love you forever and a day. So you also head down to Dewey Beach because that's your kind of like stomping ground down at the beaches, right?
Yeah, I love the beach.
What's your favorite thing down there?
I mean, I used to work there in college.
Oh, I didn't know that. Where did you work down in college?
Well, it's so long gone. It used to be called the Waterfront, and now that's North Beach.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. So that was just the best job I ever had. I mean, we just had so much fun there. And it wasn't fine dining. It was, half the place was outside. And we had a deck. So they used to have a thing called the Dewey Devil, which was like kind of like a margarita. And they were and I'd love to work. We had like a big deck and it was just serving appetizers and stuff. We did serve dinners, inside and all, but I loved being outside and hanging out, talking to people. It was so much fun down there. So yeah, I mean, we had group houses that, friends that I met, that, to this day, we're still super best friends.
That's so cool.
A group of friends. Yeah, this is going back to the 90s. And, tons of people met and got married in Dewey, ended up got married. They met in Dewey, and we all just went on a big trip to Nashville last October for our friend's birthday. But yeah, I love getting down there. I mean, that's a goal. I'd love to buy a place down there. But I love going to the Starboard. I love going to the Bottle and Cork jam session there, and there's so many more places that have popped up, better restaurants, and just a fun little 1 mile jaunt in Delaware.
Yeah. I don't really get off over to Dewey as much as I used to. I mean, and it wasn't really like a huge partier. After I got divorced, I would go down to Dewey a lot. But no, Dewey's a cool place, and if you haven't been, you should. So you and I are both business owners. You've been a business owner for, I don't even know how long. How many years now?
Well, I started the first company in, our first year was 2006.
Wow.
Yeah. I was still working at my other job. So I was doing it, but I incorporated, and then I have other entities. We split up our businesses. The USA House Solutions Incorporated is our fixing and wholesaling business.
Yes.
And they have different LLCs that are for our buy and hold properties.
Right.
And once you get to a certain amount of assets in equity for for asset protection, you want to start up another entity. So you don't want to put all
your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, it's so apropos. Yeah. So you're creating more and you're shielding. You don't want to expose everything all at once. So and Delaware's got such great LLC laws, and you can even use what's called a series LLC, which actually protects each property more, which is Delaware's on the cutting edge as far as that. And it's so inexpensive to set up. It's worth it and then you're separating your assets out. So
that's really good. That's really good. What do you suggest that somebody, if they want to start a business right now, doesn't matter if it's like real estate or what I'm doing or whatever, cleaning service, what should somebody do before they even start thinking about starting a business?
Well, I would bank. I mean, they always say you should have, I mean, it's tough, but before you quit your W-2 job, bank like 6 months of income. So save that, that year's. Yeah, I know. It's so difficult to do.
Oh my God. If I did that at 21, I wouldn't be here, yo. I like literally bye. I'm out of here.
It depends on what stage you're at. I mean, if you got, as Bob Dylan said, if you got nothing, you got nothing to lose. So if you're brand new and you've got nothing.
I had nothing to lose, Bob.
And, Gary Vee says, stay at home, work for yourself, live at home there's no shame in that. Or, if you are going to live out, live with a bunch of guys or a bunch of gals, just don't worry about that kind of stuff. But if you are older and you've got responsibilities and you got children and you got a mortgage and all that, before you quit a W-2 job, I mean, you could do most businesses as a side hustle.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I did. I worked nights and weekends because you have to make money in order to, but yet you can still hustle. So.
So many people are so quick to quit their jobs, and I'm like, hey, now when you're either a 1099 or you're starting your own company, not only are you paying income tax, you're paying payroll taxes you're also an employee, but you're also paying payroll taxes as the boss. So it's double of what you would. If you happen to have a job that has health care, now you're going to pay for that. That's going to be ridiculously expensive. So don't be so quick. Do it for a while as a side hustle. You got nights, you got weekends, before you quit your job, because you might find out that it's not, what you want. Yeah. And when you do pull the plug on your job, your W-2 job, make sure you've saved up enough, because you're going to have, it's not a straight line. It's going to be ups and downs, and you're going to have challenges and struggles, and that's okay. But you want to be prepared, because what do they say? Working for yourself is, working 80 hours for a job that should be 40 and hopefully getting paid 40.
I quit my 9 to 5 to work.
Yeah, that's it. I quit my 9 to 5.
80 hours a week. Yeah.
Okay. But, if that's I love it. I couldn't go back.
Same.
So that's fine. I'm fine working 80.
Yeah.
Instead of a 9.
Because it doesn't feel like 80.
No.
It's because you love it, right? You don't work a day in your life if you love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
So anything else you want to say to the audience? Anything you want to leave everybody with?
Pearls of wisdom. No, I'm just so proud of you. All the stuff you're doing. I really love watching. Like I said, we met, I think you were 22 or 23.
I was,
2009. Well,
so around there.
We're aging.
I know. I'm turning 40 next year, y'all, which is bonkers. I'm hitting the big 40. So this is the last year in 39. But thank you. That's so nice of you to say.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
I really love watching all your content. And it's exciting to see all the stuff you're doing. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that's it. If you happen to have a house you're looking to sell, you want to sell it quickly, as is, where is. You don't have to lift a finger, spend any money, do any repairs. You want to sell it quickly.
And just get the F out, call Bob.
No realtor commissions. We'll pay the closing cost fees. Check me out.
There's no other reason not to, with all the things that you just said. And how can we connect with you?
You can pretty much find me at Bob Warburton.
Except on Twitter.
X,
whatever we want to call it these days.
I'm not even posting on there. On Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you can find me at Bob Warburton on pretty much everything, or on just Facebook, Bob
And
Warburton.
You can even Google him. Yeah. Bob Warburton, Delaware, and you'll get all the goodies.
I pop up.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I don't even know what we're having next week. It could be the second part of the AI. It could be the second part of the social media with me. Who freaking knows? But Bob, thank you so much for being here. And
thank you.
We'll see you next time.